My name is Mark Kral. I'm a Director of Sales in the Enterprise Group under BICP. I'm originally from New Ulm, that's where I was born, and in 6th grade we moved to Sleepy Eye to follow my mom's career path, and graduated from Sleepy Eye and then came on over to Mankato for school and been here ever since. I have two wonderful parents. They did separate when I was younger, so we kind of had to live with dad during these days and with mom during these days sort of a thing, but primarily my mom raised us. Like a single mom, again with the two older daughters and the younger son, so we had some different trials and tribulations to go through. But again, I think my mom instilled hard work, focus, and just set those goals and you'll get to where you want. Because again, she was a homemaker for the longest time, and she got to the point where she's like, I need to do more for us, for the family. And she put herself back into college at a very untraditional age, and she actually got her graphics degree. My dad, he grew up on a farm. He kind of stayed in that realm and continued to work, and he works for the UFC co-op. And he's worked there for 40 plus years, could retire at any point now, but he doesn't, because again, he's a workaholic. Again, one of those things where I think that was instilled in me is hard work, dedication, set those goals, and you'll get to where you want to be. We went camping a lot. I came from a family, we didn't have a lot of money, we didn't have a lot of resources, so we kind of had to make do with what we had. So we went tent camping quite often, and we would go around the state of Minnesota, sometimes outstate. I really enjoyed the camping, being outdoors, going fishing, having to catch your breakfast, that sort of a thing. That's another really fond memory that I have with our family. We just would go to random state parks. I don't know if I really have a favorite camping spot, because they all had their pluses. They all were enjoyable for the right reasons. Many of them would involve water or a lake nearby, because we all enjoyed fishing. So we could go fishing and, like I said, catch your breakfast and your dinner. My mom's and my dad's family are large. One was a farming family, so 9, I believe there were aunts and uncles, and on the other was 11 aunts and uncles. So as you can imagine, we had there's a lot of kids, a lot of young kids, and we're all about the same age. And so every year, multiple times a year, we would all get together. I wouldn't even call it a family reunion, because we just all hung out, and it was just friends, cousins, all being together. So that is something I really remember a lot, is hanging out with my family, hanging out with my cousins, just having fun, being kids. It was sports. I was active in absolutely any sport that I could even try. So, and we would, if we weren't playing in a sanctioned league through school, we were playing in the backyards or at the local parks, whether it was baseball, football, tennis, golf, whatever. We were just always active and just outside, enjoying our childhoods. I really enjoyed playing, I guess, golf. I ended up finishing in high school, and that's what I kind of finished high school with, was playing golf and focused on golf. The challenge for me always was with sports, is you wouldn't know it now, but I am 6'3", but I wasn't 6'3" until junior in high school, so I was always the shortest kid in class, and I went from being the shortest kid in class to the tallest kid in class in about a 2-year span. So I had given up on the tall sports and moved to the individual, doesn't matter how tall you are, just swing the club and shoot for birdies, right? So I had multiple coaches afterwards say, hey, you need to come back out, or you need to try for this. But at that point, I'd already moved on and decided those other sports were not for me. But I still play them now. I mean, I'll still play the pickup sports now and that sort of thing. I still enjoy them, but golf was kind of my passion there towards the end, and still play it today. Finishing up high school, I graduated from Sleepy Eye Public. And I didn't really know what I was going to do. There was a little bit of thought of maybe do I go to the military, thought about that, talked to some recruiters, but then I was like, I don't think this is for me. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to go to college, because actually up until that point, I would have been the first one in our family to go to a 4-year college. And so I set my goal to go to college. So I applied, was accepted at MSU, so not too far from Sleepy Eye, moved over to Mankato. Started going to school actually for computer science, got into a couple of those programming classes, and realized this is not for me. I am not in the right mindset right now for this, and had to kind of make adjustments. So the adjustment went from computer science to education. and I ended up graduating with a degree in elementary education with a focus on social studies. This is a time when there were teaching jobs in Minnesota in this area were far and few between. There were no vacancies anywhere unless you had a really good inside connection. I needed to pay bills, so I was going to get a part-time job until something opened up, right? So I started working for a couple different companies in Mankato. Ultimately ended up at Carlson Craft. Was planning on being a part-time job, and 18 and a half years later, I'm sitting in this chair today. I initially started at Carlson Craft as a manager in training in the customer service department. And that was during, if anybody recalls, the spring rushes that we used to have at Carlson Craft, where it was all hands on deck, and there's more wedding invitations and napkins that you knew what to do with. A lot of people were surprised that I came in, saw that atmosphere, and I stuck around because a lot of people would scare you away. But to me, yeah, it was busy, it was hectic, it was challenging, but that's the part that I saw, that there's improvements that can be made. I like a challenge. Because if it's easy, anybody can do it, but I really thought that I could make a difference in the company and stuck it out and went through probably 2 or 3 more spring rushes and then transferred to another department. Biggest thing is I saw opportunity. I saw opportunity that there was a ladder to climb if I wanted to put my head down and just work for it, ask for it. Big thing is ask for it. Let people know that you're interested in more. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that I have learned over the last 18 and a half years. It won't be given to you. You need to go after it. And there's plenty of go after in this company right now. So I understood what our customers were asking for. I understood that piece. And then I wanted to kind of grow and learn. Now I want to go learn to see what the back end is. So I actually joined the manufacturing side of the business to really get a full understanding of how our products are made and what it takes to make an invitation, to make a business card, to make a folder. With the manufacturing side of the business, I really enjoyed the hustle and bustle. I loved being busy. I loved the challenges that we encountered every single day. I loved seeing the different types of jobs our customers were ordering, to see it firsthand, not just to hear about it. You actually got to see it actually made. Again, the people in every department that I've been in is really made the job what it needs to be. Without the people around you and the support around you, I could see how it gets monotonous, or it might get boring, or it might not, that challenge might not be there. So again, I really, really enjoy the culture and the people around me. For a couple of years, I was at NSP, and again, I wanted to continue to grow and understand more about the business. And then from there, I moved over to the marketing side of the business to understand, well, who are we selling to? Why are we selling products? So I moved to Navitor Midwest, became a product manager for the stationery division, and then became the manager of the product managers for a couple of years. And then from there moved on to account executive senior, and where I am today now, I'm a director of sales over the enterprise channel under BICP. I never saw myself as a salesperson, or maybe that's what I'd end up becoming, is being sales. But just naturally, just with who I am, I'm social, I'm outgoing. It just became, it was something that became natural to me. You know, I always thought of a salesperson as, you know, your used car salesman and, you know, what's it going to take to get you in this car today type of a deal. And I never liked that. I never liked that side of the business. But again, I've never had to use that technique. I found just being myself, being me, being transparent, being honest, is probably the best thing you can do for your clients, because it builds trust. It builds those relationships. They know they can come to you to get the job done. And that's kind of what I built off of. And again, I've discovered, hey, I'm pretty good at this, so let's continue to run with it. And I still enjoy it to this day. So I am married for 22 blissful years. We have 2 children, a son and a daughter. So once we hit the boy and the girl, we're like, whoop, pump the brakes, we're done. But no, my daughter just graduated high school last year and is attending MSU. She was a big dancer. She was part of the Spotlight Dance Company here in town for 14 years, and now actually was hired to be a dance instructor while she goes to school. So that's exciting to see. And then my son He actually went to college for a couple of years, realized it wasn't for him. Timing wasn't quite right. So actually right now, he actually works for one of the companies here at Taylor. Watching your kids grow and succeed. You'd like to think that a little piece of you've instilled something in them, whether it's the drive to work, whether it's the drive to work. It's to not take life too seriously. One day at a time, just take it easy. And so I think that part is really enjoyable for me, is seeing my kids. And again, now that they're adults, kind of now creating their own paths, making their own decisions. So that's a really exciting time right now. We really do enjoy going up to the North Shore. My in-laws have a home on Lake Superior, right outside of Grand Marais. So that has always been our retreat. From when they were toddlers till today. It's something that we get away to, take a ride up north. It is a long drive, but it's well worth it when we get there. And then once there, we just love to enjoy the outdoors, whether it's hiking, biking, hanging out in Grand Marais, at the harbor, trying new restaurants, new foods, just new experience. And again, building the experiences with the children. So for me to kind of re-energize and take a break, I'm a cyclist. I'm an avid cyclist. I love mountain biking. That's my number one passion, is find me some dirt, some rocks, some roots, and some big descents, and just let me go wild. And that's where I really enjoy it. But I also do more of your traditional riding as well. I'm a big gravel rider, very similar to road riding, but just you can imagine, I'm on the gravel roads here in Minnesota. And that just helps me get away, step away for a minute, and just kind of focus on what I'm doing, focus on riding my bike, focus on what's around me, my surroundings, and just kind of lets me kind of release from all of the daily stressors, whether that be family, whether that be work, whether that be whatever. But again, that's my release, is just to get on my bike and go. There's oftentimes my wife can sense when I need to get on a bike ride, and she's like, you know what? It's time to get on your bike. Go ride. I'll see you in a couple hours. And it always works. Almost every single time it works, where I just got to get on that bike. I just got to go blow off some steam my own way. And when I get back, I'm re-energized, refreshed. With us becoming empty nesters here very soon, there's been a lot of chatter about now what? What's next, right? So one of the things that my wife and I really want to be able to do is start to travel a little bit more. It was always very difficult with the kids and their activities. You were kind of working on their schedule. Now we have our own schedule, and we'll be able to take advantage of that. I know that I will be saying yes to mountain bike. If somebody wants to go on a vacation for a mountain bike vacation, I'll say yes. If they want to go alpine skiing, I'll say yes. Where before I just couldn't really do that. I didn't have the time and the resources to pull that off. But again, travel is going to probably be the number one thing that we'll definitely take advantage of now that we have a little bit more free time. I would say number one, why Taylor is the people I work with, the teams I work amongst. But on top of that, we also have the opportunity, the endless opportunity, and the security that the company really is looking out for its employees. It's looking out for its success. It's looking out for the legacy of who we are. And that's really awesome to be part of, blessed to be part of, and want to continue to be part of this family.